Hey everybody, good morning. Here to talk to you about a bunch of updates, and I'm also going to be talking to you about the 6 things every realtor should be doing right now to get themselves completely ready for this changed market. Because I have news for you all. Even though there's still a lot of buyer demand out there, even though there is a lot of still homes to sell and people looking to buy, we are in a changed market. And a lot of people are going to be lulled to sleep not realizing that. And I'm going to talk to you about that. I'm also going to talk to you about what happened with the market over the last week, how many homes were listed, put under agreements, sold. Going to be discussing inventory as a whole. Some of the lenders are tightening up guidelines. I'm going to talk about that really on both ends, the jumbo and FHA. Going to discuss that. Also going to do a quick review of what I went over on Monday. The 10 steps realtors should be taking to safely show a home. I thank you all. I heard from people all over the country by Monday night saying that they really liked our infographic. So I'm going to be talking about that. And I'm going to tell you a bit about my story, things that I did back in '07 and '08 when I adapted to the market changing and things that I did wrong. I know a lot of people have given me a lot of credits. Oh, you killed it when the market went bad. You this, you that. Well, I have news for you. I would have done even better if I didn't make a couple different mistakes that I made. And I'm going to talk to you guys about that here this morning, in addition to a market update, in addition to the 6 things that every realtor should do right now, which is the biggest thing that I'm going to talk about. It's what I'm going to spend the most time on. We've already posted the blog. I've got to give a shout out to my marketing team. They've been cranking out content nonstop, and I'm going to talk about that. You know, some of the 6 things being the resource, not just trying to sell people right now, getting in touch with people, different things. That's a little teaser on what a few of them are going to be. But first, I'm going to go over a normal weekly update with you guys and talk you through all different things, what's going on to help keep you informed. Because, guys, here's the big difference with this market now. Now you got to know what you're doing. Now you need to be updated. So la la land that we were living in for the last 3 years, you put a home up for sale, sells right away, you're the hero, everything I touch goes to sold. Well, that market's now behind us. I do think that in May and June, we will likely see glimpses of that market come back for a while, and a lot of people are going to be fooled. Yes, I use the word fooled into thinking, oh, this is it, it's over, everything's in the past, everything's great. The real test is going to come in the fall. And I think you're going to start to see signs of a slowdown by late summer. And I think we're going to go through a period of a slowdown. Do I think prices are going to collapse and everything's going to go to hell? No, I don't. But it's going to get tougher for a while. Next Monday, I'm going to be doing a segment on Lamacchia Realty talking about why I don't think this is 2008. And we're gathering all the data right now, housing inventory, mortgage information, all different kinds of things. And I'll be doing that next Monday. But let me get started on today's agenda. Number one, I'm happy to see that people are adapting. People are learning to work in this environment. People are learning to do business in this unusual space. It's obviously not business as usual, but it's learning to do business in this unusual scenario. And I knew that would happen, and I'm happy to see it. And this is the first week that I feel things are kind of starting to settle down a little bit. It was a whirlwind of 3 weeks. But now people are kind of like, all right, this is how it's going to be. It's going to be like this 4 more weeks at least. May 4th is when they're talking about lifting the stay-at-home advisory here in Massachusetts. I know we have several other states watching. I know some states are on actual lockdowns. New Hampshire's pretty strict about it. Michigan's not playing any games. They said realtors are not even essential. Real estate isn't essential. California is acting similar to our state. Georgia governor in some ways is strict. In some ways said people could visit the beach. So it really depends where you are around the country. But I do think as a whole, people are learning to do business in this environment. Some of it is not fun. Doing substantially less business is not fun for any of us. I'm not going to sit here and BS people and tell you that, oh, at Lamacchia Realty, we're doing just as much business. No, that's crap. We're down 40, 50% with new pendings. Homes listed are down probably 60%. That's the way it goes. Everybody's dealing with that. I was on a call the other day with some great realtors and the owner of Moxie Works around the country. We literally went around the country. There was 5 of us and said, where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you at? And we all agreed the slowdown is anywhere from 40 to 60%, but we're getting used to it. And we all know it's not going to stay like this. It's not going to stay like this. You know, in the depths of a crisis, which we're in, and I feel like we're getting to the end of it. That's when people start to think like the walls are caving in, and it's going to stay like this. No, it's not going to stay like this, right? It's not going to stay like this. Okay, stock market wasn't going to stay bad. I knew that 2 weeks ago. Oil wasn't going to stay down, and that's why I bought oil, right? You have to understand that we will come out of this, and it's good to see people settling in and learning to do business, because there are many sellers who are like, hey, I'm not waiting 4 weeks, because we are seeing a trend of sellers not wanting to list. Okay, again, seller business is down about 60%. When I say that, I mean new homes listed, but buyers are still wanting to buy. We had several properties over the weekend where we had multiple offers, several properties, multiple offers, 5 offers, 10 offers, 3 offers. I will tell you, pre-COVID-19, however many offers we've had this past weekend, we would have had more, because there is less demand out there. We're seeing about 25% less buyer demand, but about 60% less seller demand. There's a lot of sellers that are like, I'm going to hang back and just wait till this passes. I don't want others coming in my home. So that's kind of an overall picture. Let me get into some numbers for a few minutes. Last week in Massachusetts, 1,318 homes were listed for sale. The week before, 1,176. Now, normally, that would be 3,000, 3,200, 2,800. So when you do the math on that, that's why I'm saying we're down about 60, 66% with new homes listed. And for those of you watching in other states, be aware of your inventory. Hint, hint. Going to be talking about that later with the 6 things every realtor should do. Properties going pending, 1,157. That is down as well. That has been cut at least in half, but they're still selling. There's still properties that are going pending. Okay, it's still happening. Properties sold. I want to give so much credit to all of the attorneys and title companies up in New Hampshire that are getting deals closed. 1,367 homes sold in Massachusetts last week actually changed hands. That's incredible. Okay, is it down? Yeah, it's probably down 10%. There's probably 10 or 12% of closings getting delayed. I do think we're going to see that tick up in a few weeks when all the refinance closings start happening across the nation. But the fact that 1,367 homes sold, and then you take a look at New Hampshire, 350 homes sold. I mean, that's a lot of homes to sell in such an unusual time. I really do wish, and I ask all our realtor friends here in Massachusetts, out-of-state friends, sorry for 1 minute, I got to talk to them. Get on the phone with your legislators and call the governor's office off the hook and tell them to pass this bill. Okay, we need this bill to pass so that during the state of emergency, closings and notaries can be done. Closings can obviously get e-filed now. That's why they're happening. But virtual notaries should be happening. Several other states have done it. Do me a favor, all of our other out-of-state watchers, our out-of-state viewers, if your state has passed allowing virtual notaries to be done, notarizations to be done over a camera like this during your state of emergency, can you please comment and mention the state? Because I want to look at that and tally it up. And then I'm going to look at the NAR statistics and send that to our state house. So that's what we're seeing as far as statistics go. Clearly, homes are still selling. There's no doubt. It's just slower because people are kind of like, do I want to go out, right? Now, that leads me into my next topic, which I'm going to go over extensively on Monday at 3 on Lamacchia Realty. Guys, for the market to crash, inventory has to go like this. It has to go up and up substantially. It is doing the opposite. Right now, we have 10,700 homes on the market. That's our average in the last about 10 days. Crept up to about 11,200 in Massachusetts late last week, Friday night and Saturday, and then went right back down to 10.7. So we're maintaining a low inventory. Now, part of that's artificial because we got sellers that are like, I'll wait a few weeks. I do think the market's going to get a rush of inventory in early May if we get the get out of jail free card. We'll see about that. But I again want to point to it cannot crash without inventory going up dramatically. So have that in mind if you've got buyers and sellers, particularly buyers. And that's why I just had a company meeting with our agents and I said, get all your buyers on my live on Monday because they need to hear me explain. And I'm going to show the statistics as to why we're not going to see home prices fall off a cliff. Will we maybe see them go down a little before the end of the year? Yes, that could happen. We could lose 3%, 5%. I don't think they're going to go up. But do I think this is going to be 08, 30, 40% loss in value? Florida, 60% loss in value? No, not going to happen. It's just going to be a much smaller version. We're going to see some reduction, probably, maybe, but it's not going to be substantial. So think about that when you're talking to your buyers. Make sure you articulate that to them. And next week, the data that I go over, and a lot of it's national data, by the way. So our national friends that are watching, you'll see me go over it. Take that video, take that blog, take that whole report we're using when we put it out next week and show it to them. Between now and then, hopefully I just gave you some talking points. Now, lenders tightening up. I want to spend a little bit of time on this. And I want to explain the why. There's a lot of rumors swirling that FHA and or VA, oh, they're done. They're not lending anymore. Garbage. Not true. Not even a little bit true. Okay? Everyone needs to stop saying this. HUD backs, Housing and Urban Development backs FHA, Federal Housing Agency Administration. They're not going anywhere. If it wasn't for them in 08, 9, 10, 11, 12, we would have no real estate market. They're not going anywhere. What's happening is, remember, the government-sponsored enterprises, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, put out guidelines. Lenders, mortgage brokers, banks look at the guidelines and they say, do we want to match these guidelines, or maybe do we want to be a little bit more strict so that we don't have as many fall-throughs? Because remember, there are repercussions now. There what didn't used to, but pre-Dodd-Frank there weren't. But now there's some where if a mortgage goes, sour, the person who wrote it can be on the hook. Now, don't get me wrong, not in a singular fashion, but if there's masses of foreclosures from one particular mortgage company, it can cause problems. So that's why mortgage companies have added to their overlays. Not all of them. Particularly the mortgage brokers have added to their overlays. So FHA says you can write an FHA mortgage if someone has credit of 580. Someone's credit is 580 points or higher, you can write a mortgage for them. Well, 3 weeks ago, most mortgage companies said, yeah, that's fine. If they say 580, that's the guideline, we'll follow it. Now, there's mortgage companies that are, I want people to be over 600. I want them to be over 620. All that is an additional overlay. But nothing is different from FHA than it was 3 weeks ago, okay? Now, jumbo mortgages. I want to talk about that for a few minutes. That's the other end. So FHA tends to be for the first-time buyers, sometimes people with lower income or lower credit, but then the jumbo buyers are the opposite. They're the higher income, better credit, usually. And those mortgages are tightening up as well. Why? I've heard a lot of realtors say, why is this happening? Well, think about it. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they have loan limits. Their loan limits around the country are all, depending upon where it is in the country, they range from anywhere from mid 400s to up as high, I think Massachusetts, we have it on our website somewhere. I should have looked before, but I want to say it goes up to as high as like 656. Any mortgage over that, the government doesn't back it. The actual mortgage company, the mortgagor, has to back the mortgage, and they have to hold it in-house or sell it off to a larger player like a JP Morgan Chase, or there's tons of investors that buy mortgage-backed securities in the jumbo space. But guess what? A lot of those investors now, whoa, I'm backing off. There's no government backstop for me. I'm not going to get reimbursed if this thing goes bad. So what's happening? Same thing. Mortgage companies are saying, we had minimum credit. Now I'm making numbers up, so don't follow these. But we had minimum credit of 700. Now we want 720, or now we want 740. They're adding overlays. This is normal. I hope if we can get out of the clouds by fall, they'll adjust back. But between now and then, make sure if you're working with an FHA buyer or a jumbo buyer, make sure you get them an updated pre-approval and make sure that they know, what's going on with their loan, and make sure their loan is looking good and everybody's fully aware of what's what, because you don't want to run into a situation where they get blindsided that they don't qualify, okay? So super important to do that, and make sure you're communicating with the mortgage broker or mortgage lender that you're working with. Now, I want to move to another topic, and we've put a lot of information out about this on our website, but it's around mortgage assistance, okay? There's a lot of talk in the news about mortgage forbearances, and that's great, right? Mortgage forbearances are great, and basically what it gives is people a period of time that they don't have to pay their mortgage, maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months. I also heard some of the GSEs are saying, hey, we'll maybe even let people go an additional 180 days on top of the initial with approval later this fall. Well, that all sounds good. And you as a realtor should make sure to communicate that possibility to your clients. But there's two things you got to be careful for. You got to be very careful. Number one, if you're watching me right now from a computer, open up another window, go to lamachiarealty.com. Right on the top there's a bar. It says COVID-19 resource page. Click on that. I'm going to go with you so that I can follow along. I want you to click on that. And then now I need to tell my wife to tell the kids to be quiet because I'm worried you guys are going to hear them. I'm going to text her now. Kids, quiet, please. Windows open. Geez, that worked out well, huh? All right, Lamachia Realty, go to the resource page. Follow me here. I'm getting to something valuable for you that you can take, you can rip off and use. Scroll down on the resource page and you'll see something that we added since last Wednesday. It says loan lookup. You click on that, it brings you to the Fannie Mae loan lookup link. You don't have to use Lamachia Realty. Take the loan lookup link, send that to your client. They need to know who owns their mortgage first. That's step one. If Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, or FHA own it, the government has already come out and said automatic 3-month forbearance. People don't have to pay their mortgage even without proof. Okay? So no problem there. It's super good news. Once people know that their loan is with a GSE, they can communicate with them and get that forbearance. Hopefully it won't be troublesome. In addition to that, the other thing that I want to make sure people know, because some people are hearing this in the news and they're like, oh, automatic 3 months, I don't have to pay my mortgage. Yeah, great, everything's easy. No. You got to make sure your mortgage is owned by one of them. 60% chance it is. Okay. Another thing I want to make sure that you guys are communicating to your clients. Don't let them be fooled into thinking, oh, it's just free. It's just my mortgage is waived. I don't have to pay. No. Guys, they're putting that on the back end of the loan and people do have to pay it eventually. And remember, when you pay a mortgage, okay, when you pay a mortgage, you pay interest based on what is owed. So if what you owe is higher, you pay more interest. So in the end, this forbearance is going to cost people money. And that's why they should only be doing it if it's necessary. If they've truly lost their job and it's necessary, then make the call, get the mortgage forbearance if you can get it. But make sure you as realtors, you want to be the one telling them that. And guys, just so you know, I know I'm delaying going over the 6 things, but a lot of what I'm explaining to you right now relates directly to that. And you'll see what I'm talking about in 10 minutes when I get there. So 2 things I wanted to mention for mortgage forbearance. Like I said, loan lookup to know who owns the mortgage and making sure they realize they're going to owe that money at some point. The other item is that I want to talk to you about, and I want to point out that we came out with the other day, is the 10 steps realtors should take to safely show a home. So if you log on to crushitinre.com, crushitinre.com, and you go to the blog section, you will see, sorry, I just got thrown off there. You'll see the second blog down, or if you go to the resource section, the Realtor resource section, you can get to it. But the 10 steps to safely show a home. You will see there's an infographic in there. We made, our marketing manager, she's our graphic designer, she made all these images and she put this together. The infographic gets right to the point. Wear a mask or some type of face covering, right? Follow the CDC guidelines. Don't walk around the home and touch all the surfaces, open cabinets, open drawers. Take control. I can't repeat that enough. I've been saying it for 2 weeks. Realtors need to take control on showings. This is not just letting people walk around. My recommendation, guys, leave your phone in your car. You don't want to get distracted by this thing when you're showing the home. And next thing you know, you turn around and there's a buyer opening things and looking all around. No way. You've got to take control. You've got to give your seller comfort that you're going to make sure their home is taken care of, or they're going to not let you list it. And some of them do need to list. And believe me, for some of you realtors out there that are saying, I will not work until it's done. I'm doing what I'm supposed to. Okay, you're going to kiss some business goodbye. I have news for you. You're going to. So while I don't think that you should push sellers to list right now, that's not a good move. If a seller really wants to list and they have a legitimate reason to list their home and you're not listing it, you are making a mistake on behalf of your client. And for your business, you're making a mistake. So check out these instructions. Check out what we put together, the 10 steps to a safe home showing. It'll walk you right through it. It's in crushitinre.com, and it's there for you to grab. Now, I can start. Let me think. Another thing I want to say before I start. Survey. We are tracking a tremendous amount of data that we can get our hands in, but we want you guys to participate in the data that we are trying to pull together. We want to get a better sense of what percentage of sellers are truly not listing, what percentage of buyers are truly holding off on buying. We've come up with 6 questions. It's a 6-question survey. It's super simple. All we want you to do is post your email in the comments and say, send me the survey, here's my email. Or message us your email if you don't want it public. Whoever sends us their email, Lamakia Realtors included, I would love it if we could get a bunch of our national friends to do this as well, because we're going to separate the data. We're going to take Massachusetts data from Massachusetts Realtors. We're going to take national Realtors, and we're going to scrub these down, these surveys, and then we're going to present them to you next week so that you can get a good understanding of what percentage of sellers are holding off on listing, what percentage of buyers are holding off on buying, what percentage of buyers are not buying because they became unemployed. There's only 6 questions. I would love it if you guys could participate. I'm only doing it to help all of you, all of us. We want to gather data. We want to know how many people are holding off because of what's going on. So please post your email in the comments. And if you don't want to do it in the comments, message us your email, because it's super important that we gather this data and present it to you next week. And I would love to have at least a few hundred realtors so we really could go over the data. I'm already seeing people post their emails. Thank you. Savannah's down in Atlanta. She posted it. This is going to be an amazing survey. We're going to share the results with you guys very, very soon. And I'll tell you how we're going to share it. We're going to email the results to you and only you. I'm not going to get on a public forum and say, 62% of sellers aren't listing and, X percent of buyers aren't buying. No. That's not good for the market. I got to be careful. I do have an impact on the market, and I need to be aware of that. So I'm not going to do that. All I'm going to do is collect the data. I might talk about some of it next week. I likely will. But I'm going to collect the data. We're going to email it out to the people who participate in the survey, and we're going to separate Massachusetts, the rest of the country, and then put it all together so that you guys can see the data. So I'm seeing a ton of you post your emails. I appreciate that. We will be sure to get it to you. Send us your personal emails. Realtors from other companies, better off sending your personal email. We don't want anything to get caught up in spam. Sometimes other companies will block us if they think we're recruiting. We're not recruiting. We're simply trying to gather market data. So please post your email if you'd like us to do that. I also should have mentioned in the beginning, Lindsay's going to laugh at me, that if you guys want to share what I'm doing right now, you will not be kicked off if you look at your phone or look at your computer, hit share, and post it. That will tell everybody on Facebook, all of your friends in your sphere, that I am live right now. And if you have a large realtor following, do that. If you don't, then I'm talking to realtors, so I wouldn't share it if I was you, if you don't have a large realtor following. But if you're someone who leads a company and would like other realtors to see this segment, then go ahead and do that. So that's on the survey. I'll circle back to that again later as a reminder. Now I want to talk to you guys. Now I want to tell you a story. 2007, 2008, I'm trying to think, how deep do I want to go here? I'll tell you guys what happened. I started in the business in 2004. 2005, it was busy. There was so many home sales, so much new construction, even up here, so many new condo units. I was doing a ton of townhouses. And then in May 06, I got out of working with my dad. I went full-time in real estate, and it was very busy. And we did good for about a year and a half. And then 07 came around, and it was like, wait a second, what's going on? I actually remember signs of a slowdown right after Hurricane Katrina. That slowed the market down. That was a slow fall in 06. 07, it was slower. 08, it was like, wow, it's here. Market's going to hell in a handbasket, and everybody believed that by the fall. So the trickier thing, the harder part of that time was it kind of happened slowly for about a year and a half, and there were a lot of people that didn't believe it, and a lot of sellers that didn't believe it. And when sellers don't believe that the market's going bad, it presents a tremendous amount of challenges, okay? And it's very hard to deal with sellers because they think every seller thinks their home is worth more, but it's particularly aggravating when you know, and you can see home prices going down, and they're like, what do you mean? My home's amazing. It's incredible. Look at these recessed lights I have. They're amazing. Look at these posts right here. I had these posts custom made from a Finnish carpenter in Spain that's related to my veterinarian's aunt. Okay, he flew over here and made those posts. I mean, they just get ridiculous. Okay, then the summer of '08 came around, and that's when everybody started realizing it, right? That's when we were like, whoa, it's getting ugly. And I'll tell you a couple mistakes I made. One is this. The fall of '07, I did my first short sale ever. Started it in August '07, didn't close it till early '08, and it was misery. And I said to my ex-business partner at the time, his name's John, he's a great guy, we're still in touch, and I said to him, John, I'll never do another short sale. That was horrible. And I threw in some expletives as well. And he said, really, huh? Yeah, that thing was brutal. I'm like, yeah, it was brutal for me. I did it, right? Well, about 2 months after, in the spring of '08, the amount of calls we were getting, follow the story, there's a whole reason I'm telling you this. The amount of calls we were getting from people that were nearly upside down or becoming upside down was increasing. An example of what I mean. Early '07, the calls were, hi, I owe $400 on my home and it's on the market for $430 and I can't lower my price because I won't be able to pay it off. Early '07. Late '07, hi, I tried to sell my home. I owe $400. It was on for $414 and I'm already upside down. I can't go lower. Can you sell it without me going down? Early '08. Hi, I tried selling my home. It's worth less than $400. I can't sell it for less than $400 because I'm upside down and I think I might need the bank to forgive it. What do I do? So follow my story. Fall of '07, I do my first short sale. January, February '07, right around there, I tell my ex-business partner, never doing one again. April-ish, he says to me, you know, Anthony, if we learned how to do those short sales, we could have a niche and we would do really well with it. Sellers would have a reason to call us. They would be drawn to us. I think we could create a real niche. You know what my answer was in my thick Italian head? No. I told you I'm never doing one again. I'm never doing it again. We don't need those. We're going to keep going with regular sales. We're going to kick ass with regular sales. He goes, yeah, you're probably right. All right. Guess what, guys? Regret number one. I waited 6 more months. 6 more months. That was my first regret when I look back that I waited 6 months. And do you know how many times I've looked back and I've said, why didn't I adapt? Just because I had one bad experience with Chase, who, by the way, ended up being our favorite lender once we learned how to do it. Our favorite. We did several hundred with them. So I always look back and I say, you know, I did a lot of business, but what would have business have been if I adapted sooner, if I accepted it sooner that the market had changed and I needed to help people that were upside down on their mortgages. And instead I waited 6 months. September 2008, I'm out in Las Vegas with John and we met some other people, good realtor friend, Sherman Smith in California, Southern California. He starts talking about short sales and how they're a great thing to do and how the clients love you for life and how when you learn to do them, they literally love you for life. And I'm sitting there listening at dinner and I'm thinking, really? Business has been slowing down for us. And he's sitting there at the table going, guys, it's a home sale. Well, what are you guys turning your nose up for? They're a home sale. There's just one extra step, getting the bank to agree. So that was when we got into it heavily and we adjusted. We also did some work selling foreclosures for banks, but I didn't love it because I felt like we were kissing the butts of people in Texas and I didn't feel like they'd do anything for us once the market came back. So we didn't go crazy on that. But that was one thing that I really felt I wish I had done sooner. So now I want to talk to you about the 6 things that you can start doing right now. So get your pen or start typing. I'm going to roll right through these with you and tell you what they are because you can start as soon as today. And when I get to the last one, you'll understand why I'm going to say not only you can start as soon as today, you had better be starting as soon as today because believe me when I tell you, wow, look at all the emails coming in. This is great. John McGee, I don't know you, but you did a lot of short sales. Well, good for you. So now I lost my train of thought. 6 things you can do. Number 1 to start doing right now if you haven't already. No selling. Be compassionate. Don't be trying to sell people right now. Don't be trying to push sellers into listing. Don't be trying to push buyers into buying. It's a terrible way to be. People are very nervous right now. Every day they're talking about people dying. We're still in the midst of a crisis. I think we're getting to the third quarter of it. I think we're going to start looking up, but we're still in it. So don't be pushing people. Don't be selling. Don't be forcing people to do things. Be compassionate. Be there for them. Have a heart. Check in with them. See how they're doing. See how their family is. And you know what? I have news for you. By taking this tact initially in the next few weeks, you'll do less business. By being a little more laid back, you might do a little less business. Hey, you know what? Just checking in. How are you? Wanted to see if you do want me to send you some properties, I'll send them to you. No pressure. Mr. Seller, it's totally up to you if you'd like to list your home. If you want to list it now, I'll do that for you. But if you don't, I'm happy to wait 3 weeks. I don't think you'll be in a bad position if you wait. Taking that attitude will make it so that a couple more buyers delay buying, a couple more sellers delay selling. But I have news for you. That's the right way to be right now. Okay? In our business, when you are a salesperson, people notice it. They pick up on it. They can smell it. And they don't like it. And I'll tell you, I have never been more irritated with salespeople as I have been in the last 3 weeks. I got people emailing me with this product, that product. Anthony, now's the time. I'm like, get the hell out of here. Now's not the time for some fancy new widget. Now's the time to steady the ship, make sure that we're riding okay, that everybody's okay, the agents are okay, our clients are okay, our staff's okay. That's what I'm concerned about. You as a realtor with your business, you should be concerned about your family, your friends, your clients, your buyers, your sellers, making sure everybody's okay and everybody's in the know. That's what's key right now. So that's number one. No selling, be compassionate. And this is in the blog section of crushitinre.com, okay? Number two, get in touch with every single past client, okay? Every one of them. I don't want to hear excuses. Unless you hated them, unless they were a horrible client, that's different. Brian Buffini says you want to keep 65% of your clients for life. Well, right now, I'll tell you something. The clients that were a pain in the ass that you didn't maybe like so much, that were cocky, yeah, people are getting real humbled right now, believe me. So I would call even the ones that you didn't like so much, say hello, check in, text them, see how they're doing. But this thing right here will eventually make you more money than anything else you could use. And this is the time to literally go through your contacts, top to bottom, and check in with everybody and see how they're doing. See if they're doing okay. Particularly the buyers that you sold homes to in the last 2 years. I know there's friends, I mentioned Savannah down in Georgia. Savannah's probably sold 100 buyers homes in the last 2 years. If I'm Savannah, I'm contacting every single one of them, knowing her, she already did, in the next 2 days. Hey, how are you? Text them. You can cut and paste the darn text, guys. Hey, how's things going? You doing okay? You've got to check in with them. If you think they might have a financial problem, check in with them. I have a friend that I texted over the weekend. I said, hey, you doing all right now? Oh, yeah, I'm doing fine. I said, yeah, but are you really doing okay? I know you were having a little trouble before. I just want to make sure. If you need any help, let me know, right? This person sent me back the most loving, nice text message I'd probably ever got in my life, right? Because I showed that I give a damn, and they know I would have helped if they needed it. So you got to care for people, and you need to show you care. So there's no time for laziness right now, and that's one thing I'm going to talk about. That's my last item. Get in touch with every single one of them, period, end of story, no excuses. Now, be the resource. That's a big one. This ties into, and this is exactly why I went over the 10 steps realtors should take to show a home, I also talked to you about our information page. We have a realtor resource page. Look what I'm doing for you. I'm being a resource to you. If you log on to crushitinre.com and you click on the realtor resource page, you will see a whole bunch of resources with a whole bunch of things for you. Now, if you jump over to lamacchiarealty.com, in the top bar, you will see right in orange, there's a bar there. Of course, now it's being slow. Click here to view our COVID-19 resource page. You click on that, and you'll see a bunch of video updates that I've done for buyers and sellers, blogs that we put out. We just put out a blog yesterday about fire inspections and how the law has changed in Massachusetts. I shouldn't say changed. The law has temporarily changed where sellers don't have to get the inspection. Buyers can do it 90 days after closing. We put the law in there. We put the Mass Association of Realtors addendum in there for buyer and seller to sign. We put recommendations on how we think sellers should still get the house up to snuff and have it ready. We put in all my update videos. We have a complete homeowner mortgage assistance section that explains a whole bunch of things. There's also a section that with clickable links, and guys, go rip them off. I don't care. Go take them. You click on Quicken Loans, Rocket Mortgage, right? And it's going to immediately pop up the information. Go cut and paste it and send it to your client. If they are telling you, yeah, honestly, I'm nervous about my mortgage payment. You know, Billy works bartending at night and now he's not doing that. And, you know, I do this during the day and now I'm laid off. Hey, listen, understandable. Everyone's going through this. Let's do this in steps. Let's first find out who owns your loan. I'm going to send you a link. Guys, rip off our link, send it to the client. Let them see who owns the home. Who owns the loan. Then go right back. You don't even have to tell them Lamacchia is involved if you don't want to. I don't care. Who services your loan? Oh, my loan is serviced by Wells Fargo. Great. Go click on our Wells Fargo link, take the darn information, and send it to your client. Be the resource. You've got to be the resource for your client. It's super important to do that. You want them to, anything that involves their home, you want them thinking of you and thinking of you first, not selling them on anything. And when you're talking to them, you are doing this in a genuine effort to help them keep their home that you sold to them. No one, and I mean this sincerely, no one should be doing it with a mindset of, well, I hope they have to sell the home because that's better for me. No, that's crap. These people, this is their home. Help them keep it. Do all you can. If eventually in 6 months or a year, they're like, you know what, we just want to downsize, we're fine. Do your job and sell their home. That will happen. But you should genuinely be trying to help them keep their home. That's the business we're in, being in real estate, being realtors. That's what we do. We help people achieve home ownership. It's one of the most sacred things in the world for hundreds and hundreds of years. It's part of the reason that we have, as a country, one of the best, most functional societies, because people have a stake in the ground of what they own and they take care of it. It gives me chills just thinking about it. So that's another item. So number one, no selling, be compassionate. Number two, get in touch with every past client. Number three, be the resource. Okay? Those are three important things you can start doing today. Now, number four, watch inventory levels. This is more of a tactical item. It's going to be very important for you to really know what you're doing. La La Land is over. Okay? You might think it's not a month from now, 6-8 weeks from now, because you're going to be like, wow, it's busy again. Yeah, it's going to be busy again because there's going to be pent-up demand that comes back out. But I'll be real surprised. I will be shocked. It'll probably be the shock of my career if we go through the whole year and we don't have a slowdown. I'm telling you, it's impossible. It's also an election year. The election years and the falls of election years, those are particularly slower. So now we've got kind of a double whammy, job loss and that going on. We're going to see it get a little bit slower. You've got to watch inventory levels of homes for sale in your market. It is critically important that you do that. All right. Now, we watch it on a state level. We've been doing that for 10 years. And I've reported to you guys on a lot of that data. How many homes are for sale? Now, what you need to do, and we're going to start doing it as a company, we're going to start tracking the inventory. Well, we do it, but we don't do it weekly. Inventory of homes for sale in our office towns and all the towns around them. Okay. But we're also doing it statewide. If I'm a realtor right now watching, I don't care where you are. We have people watching. I'm scrolling. I can see people all over the country watching. And Derek Coates, a friend from Arizona, great guy. Go on and look how many homes are for sale in your market right now. How many were on last week, the week before, the week before. You want my recommendation? Go back a year. Every single week, do an on-market snapshot, build the spreadsheet, and start tracking it. Because let me tell you, you need to watch that. The town you're in and all the towns around you, all the towns that you serve, and I don't mean a town an hour away that you help one random buyer or seller twice a year. I mean the towns that you're in every day. You have got to track that inventory. Start learning it now. Now's the time, not tomorrow, not in a week. Guys, there's no time for laziness now. Now we're going to find out who's good in this business, okay? That's what we're going to find out. So you need to watch inventory levels. Now, I'm going to help you get an idea of what's going to happen with inventory in a month and in 2 months if you participate in the survey. I can't ask you enough. Please make sure. I only see about 100 emails there. Guys, we want to get like 300. We want at least 300 emails so that we can send you this survey. It's a 6-question survey. It's very, very simple, and it's going to ask you 6 questions about the market. What percentage of your buyers, and we made it multiple choice. Literally, you go in and click, 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 you're done. What percentage of your buyers are holding off because of COVID-19 financial fears? What percentage of your sellers are holding off because they're worried about COVID-19 coming into their home, blah, blah, blah. Very simple questions. Please participate. We're going to share the data with you. If you participate, we share it with you. If you don't, you won't see the results. But these results are going to help you immensely, and they're going to better educate you so that you can properly quantify what's going to happen with the market and predict what's going to happen with the market, which is what we're going to try to do. But you can do it as well, and it'll help you out. So make sure to watch inventory levels. Like I said, go in the MLS, pull up an on-market snapshot, pull up a spreadsheet, start listing the amount of homes for sale in every single market that you work in. It's critically important. Number 5, master pricing and price adjustments. When I say master, I can't emphasize that word enough. If you in the last 3 years have struggled to get sellers to the right price, you're going to struggle more. I have news for you. Okay? Yes, more sellers get it. You know, the difference between this and '08, there's a lot of differences. This isn't going to get as bad, but I keep referencing '08 because that was the last time the market went down. It took a year and a half for sellers to get it last time that the market had changed. The economy had changed. Now, it's not taking a year and a half. It's taken like 2 weeks. So that's going to help you, but you're still going to have sellers that give you speeches about their posts and all these things that they have that are better at their home, their chandeliers, their baseboards, their window trim. Believe me, you're going to run into that. Okay, so the art of pricing is critically important. You need to practice. Even if you need to get with other realtors in your company, you need to practice. We do offer a course. If you're here in our state, you can take that course. No, I'm sorry. If you're a realtor at La Macchia, obviously you get that course. If you are a realtor out of state, you can get your hands on that course that we have on getting price adjustments. That's my one plug of the day, an hour discussion, one plug on a course that we have on obtaining price adjustments. Your ability to obtain price adjustments needs to be up here by August. If it's not, you're going to be in trouble. If you want to read a blog about price adjustments, we have one on La Macchia Realty, The Art of a Price Adjustment. Go check that out. That's step 1 to you learning or working to improve your price adjustment skills. And I have news for you. Even the people that were very good at it, this is like a, whoa, got to get the dust off and get ready because this is a new market. Pricing and price adjustments is critically important. Now, part of getting good at that is knowing your inventory. Knowing the percentage of properties that go under agreement, knowing the data. That's why I mentioned that previously, okay? Last but not least, I probably should have put this one first. Don't sit around feeling bad for yourself. Take action. Can't emphasize this enough. I have news for you guys that might not surprise you or may surprise you. In the last 3 weeks, I have increased the amount of work that I do in a day by probably 4 hours. I've worked harder in the last 3 weeks than I have in some time. January was an unusual period. We had an acquisition and it was more than normal. But these last 3 weeks, I have hit the accelerator. I've increased the volume. If you want to thrive, because that's the thing, guys. This isn't, if right now in your brain, you're thinking survival, you're already in the wrong place. Your mind is mentally already in the wrong place. This isn't about survival. This is about thriving. There's a difference. This is about thriving. Initially, right now, maybe you're in a little bit of survival mode, not the end of the world, but you need to be thinking about thriving. The last time the market went bad, 08, 9, 10, 11, 12, home sales went down about 20%, guys. 20. So anywhere between 5 million and 5.5 million homes sell a year across the United States. Guess what it went down to? 4.1 million, 4.2, 4.3. Big deal, right? Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, I guess it kind of is a big deal, actually, now that I say that. It sounds kind of stupid. But are you going to be in that 80% or aren't you? That's what this comes down to, because someone is going to sell those homes. The question is it you? And you've got to start positioning now. Now, while you're not being a salesperson, while you're being compassionate, while you're being the resource, this is the time to sharpen your axe, to sharpen your skills, get off your butt, and go on offense. If you do that, you will do very well when the market shows us signs of change, which I think will be late summer, at the latest it'll be fall. And you'll be ready for it. Your skills, getting in front of a seller, talking about pricing, not just showing comps, but showing inventory of homes for sale, showing their additional competition, discussing price adjustments with them a little bit in advance before you even sign them up, doing certain things once the home is listed. One of the things that I always talk about at our company, Lamakia Realtors that are listening, you know that we always push the 10-day email and the 12-day email. That's the marketing email. On day 10, when you have a home listed, you should be sending them an email with a list of all the things that you're trying to do to get that home sold. And then on day 12, you should send them the reports from all the online websites actually showing them what those things are doing so that they can see the results. If you don't send those emails, you'll get the golden question that we all despise. What are you doing to sell my home? Now, if you're a new realtor, you might be listening and thinking, oh, it doesn't happen to me. It doesn't happen. Everything I list turns to sold. I have news for you. Welcome to the new world. You will probably get away with that a bit for the next 3 months, but it's not going to stay like that forever. We are at least facing a 6-month slowdown here in the real estate market. And if you haven't gotten that question, what have you done? What are you doing to sell my home? Then I have news for you. You haven't really done much real estate. Okay, and even if you sold 200 homes in the last 3 years, even if you did, good for you. Congrats, you're a good realtor. But you haven't really arrived in the business until you get that dreadful question from a seller. What are you doing to sell my home? So the time to get yourself ready is now. Now. So if you've been sitting around feeling bad for yourself, procrastinating, oh my God, the world's going to end. What am I going to do? No. Bad economies take no prisoners. Okay, it's like this damn virus, right? Bad economies don't discriminate. They don't care who you are, where you're from. They don't care. And you've got to bring your skills from here to here. And you can do it. Every single person watching right now can do it. But you have to get in action now. Some of you have already taken action. Some of you have already put your emails on here and said, go ahead, send me the survey, because I'm going to be sending out the survey. I got distracted again. Great realtor friend up in Chelmsford, Mark Bellevue, one of the best realtors in that entire area. He said that's true. I bet he's talking about me saying that if you haven't got that dreadful question, you're going to get it. Jerry Bourgeois, one of the best realtors in all of Worcester County, he said, get ready to start really working. That's the truth. I should just keep reading comments from these vets in the business. Nikki Bronner, work, and more work. Nikki, I love you too. You're awesome. She's out in, I think, New York, Syracuse, New York, I believe. Oh, Lindsay, thank you for posting the blog, The Art of a Price Adjustment. Everyone should look at that. So, guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a survey from all of you that participate. Remember, realtors have more information than anybody on what's going on in the street. We're going to ask you 6 simple questions, and then we're going to share the results with you and only you. Those who participate get to see the results. Those who don't see the results. Okay? We need to get your emails by tomorrow. Dennis Marks, another great realtor. Jason Crotty, awesome realtor at Lamakia Realty. He said, best advice I ever got is your cell phone will make you the most money. 100% true. Nancy Rogers, another awesome realtor up in the Chelmsford market. We got all our Chelmsford friends watching, right? I can see Paul Dubuque's on here as well. Reagan's another great realtor, awesome team leader down in Atlanta. Putting her email. Thank you, Reagan. So wanted to make sure to talk to you guys about that. And now what I'm willing to do, starting in about a minute, is take some questions. So let me do a little recap. Then I'm going to take questions for 10 or 15 minutes to make sure and answer what you guys are asking, because I know there's a lot of fear out there. There's a lot of concern. Lindsay, if you want to start cutting and pasting questions to teams, that'd be huge. It would speed me up. All right, little recap, guys. 6 things you can do right now. Stop selling, be compassionate, show compassion. Okay, this is not business as usual. And for you leaders that are watching, you can't say that to your agents because it isn't true. There's nothing usual about this. No selling, be compassionate, number 1. Number 2, get in touch with every single past client. There's a lot of team leaders watching. There's a lot of broker owners watching. Guys, get your agents the lists. Hand them the lists in paper so they can go down the list and they can check off everybody they get in touch with. And Lamachia Realtors that are watching, we'll do that for you. If you guys want us to print a past client list for you, email agenthelp@lamachiarealty.com. You guys know Agent Help. We will get you your list by the end of the week, and you guys can start checking it off. Probably sooner than that. We have admins that are happy to help right now. Be the resource. You've got to be the information source. It's hugely important. Use us. Use me. All right? Go rip off our information and use it with your clients. Lamachia Agent, super easy for you. Send the page. Send the resource page. Very simple for you. Monday, I will be doing a update on why I don't think this is 2008. When I do that, I'm going to be helping a lot of you realtors with your buyers. I have news for you. Now, I'm also going to tell you, I'm going to tell it like it is. You send your buyers to watch me on the Lamachia Realty Facebook page. You better know this is the no spin zone over here. I'll tell it like it is. But the data that I'm going to go over is going to show them how we're really not in the same situation as '08. And the big picture of what they're going to see is they don't need to be concerned about homes being worth half as much in a few months or something like that. So wanted to mention that about being the resource. And guys, that's part of being the resource. Saying to people, come watch. Especially if you're out of state, they don't know who I am from a hole in the wall, but you're the one that is actually showing them. So wanted to mention that. Inventory levels, guys, I can't explain it enough. If you want to know the number one indicator of what is to come in your market, number one of what is to come is watching how many homes are for sale. You watch that, it'll tell you what's to come. When you see it to start going up, and it's going to go up in the next 3-4 weeks once we get back to some sense of normalcy, but here's what's going to happen. It'll get busy for a while. If that inventory gets worked off, that's better. But if you notice it stays high, that's a bad sign going into summer and fall. The other one is master pricing and price adjustments. And then don't sit back. Don't be lazy. Get in action, okay? Number one action step, send us your email here. We're not going to market to you 700 times. We've got better things to do right now. Our marketing team, believe me, they're working 24/7. They work the entire weekend. So send your email over. We will send you the survey, and then when we get the results, we'll share the results with you. Okay, someone down the bottom, I can't pronounce the name, but said, I'm seeing the credit markets in a cash crunch. Do you have any ideas about how to navigate and make sense of lending markets? I don't see a big cash crunch. Okay, let me show you some comparisons to '08. In '08, by the end of the summer, everybody was tightening up their lending guidelines, and it was almost like we were freezing up. It's not happening. It's not happening. And I've got to give credit where it's due. Our government, and I'm not being political, okay, but both sides of the aisle signed that bill to do the, for example, the Paycheck Protection Program. So the companies like mine can keep staff on, and many companies across the country can keep staff on. Guys, post your questions so that I can go through and answer them. We've had some people email and send them over Messenger. That doesn't work. They're telling me that right now. You need to post them in the comments, and I'll get to your questions. So, think about that, because it'll certainly help when you think about how the government is pushing banks to lend. There was a great segment yesterday. I saw it on Fox Business Live. All the major bank CEOs said, we're lending like crazy. That's important. That's the opposite of before. All right, more questions. Sandra, Okay, Sandra, getting back to you on what happens when people don't pay their mortgage. Does it affect their credit? Well, yeah, if they just stop paying arbitrarily, of course it'll hurt their credit. But if they call their mortgage company, if the loan is backed by a GSE or they have some other type of workout and they get permission for a forbearance, they are not impacting credit. They've already said that. But you've got to be proactive. Sean Maloney, good man from the South Shore. All right, question. Would you not say the market is as high as we can safely advise it will get with the time to sell? If not, and the price goes down, blah, 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 would you say the chance? Okay, what would I say the chances are of prices going down? I'd say right now I'm going to say 50-50. I think there's a 50-50 chance that prices go down a little bit for the year because of the second half. We're not going to see them go down in the first half. Guys, remember, in order for prices to go down, inventory has to go up. That's the key. So will we see them go down? If I had to bet money, I would say we're going to see some decrease, potentially 1%, 2% kind of thing, but that's minimal. And then next year, things start going back. Guys, we've been on a roll. 5%, 10% a year has been nuts. Nancy Rogers, awesome realtor. I did really well during the last recession. Of course you did. You're a hustler and you know what you're doing. And she didn't do any REOs or short sales, but she worked and she kept working by referral. 100% right. And we did a ton of that work. I don't want to make people think that all we did when the market went bad was short sales. That isn't true. There was a point in 2012, I remember in the summer, something like 60% of our closings were short sales. That's how many we were doing. But guys, we were doing 40 to 60 a month on top of all our other closings, our regular closings. So we just did a ton of volume. We did thousands of them. We adapted and it went well. And we grew through the entire, we literally grew. I want everybody to hear this loud and clear. We grew every single year a minimum of 10% from '07 all the way through to where we are today. Now we were on a roll. We were growing. We were on track to grow 100% this year. We were up 113% year to date, and this is going to screw it up. But it is what it is. So Nancy, good point. Glad you said that. Tiffany, what is your advice for someone just getting into real estate? I just passed the real estate exam. Good for you. And haven't signed on with a broker yet. Is it stupid to start an RE career now? No, I don't think it's stupid at all. I mean, well, here's the other thing. All companies are laying off, so where the hell else are you going to work, right? I mean, I don't mean to sound crude, but really, it's not like companies are hiring. You start now, you don't know any better than the market we're in. So I think it's a good time to start, but you need to make sure to get on a real estate team that will give you leads or with a real estate company that will give you leads. You need leads and you need them more than ever if you're starting in this business right now. Because here's the thing, guys, and this reminds me, and I appreciate Tiffany asking that. When you're new in the business and the market's hopping like the last 3 years, people you know, not all of them, but a lot of people you know, yeah, sell my house. Let me help me buy a house. When the market gets bad, people want quality. They want people who know what they're doing. They want people with experience. So what you run into is the realtors that are already ahead doing better. So if you're a newer in this business, and I know a ton of this audience, this is a Lamakia training. A ton of this audience is a Lamakia agents. Don't be nervous if you're newer ones with us. We obviously have a lot of support for you guys. We have a tremendous amount of product, services, and tools that help guide you through it, but there's no denying it's a little bit harder at first. Let's see here. Lillian Leone, have they resolved the issue so that realtors can apply for unemployment? I hate to tell you, in Massachusetts, I don't think they did yet. They're so run over that they're having a hard time keeping up, but they're promising it's going to happen. And I imagine, from what I've heard, people will get back pay. So hopefully you or whoever you're asking for will be able to take advantage of that. All right, Savannah Lavender, what are you telling the buyers that were hot and ready to go that are now scared to go see homes? I have things I say, but I would like to see what others have said. Okay, so Savannah, if they're scared to go see homes right now because of COVID-19, my answer would be no problem. I'll still send you homes. Let's keep an eye out. If you want to do some drive-bys, go ahead. I wouldn't push them. This isn't the time to push clients. You do that, it's going to rub them the wrong way. They're going to go the other way. And they're going to remember it, and they're going to see you as a salesperson and that's going to haunt you later. And I know you have a massive warm heart, right? That isn't you. So I would just tell them, all right, no problem. I'll just send you some properties. But if they're not wanting to look for financial reasons because they think the market's going to crash, talk to them about inventory now compared to '07 and '08. Talk to them about how we have a very strong economy. We went into this with a very, very strong economy. And get them to tune in to my live on Monday. Yeah, I'm from Massachusetts and you're from Georgia, but a lot of what I'm going to go over is national data, like national debt to income ratios, national rates on how many borrowers are set to have resets with their mortgages, interest rate adjustments, equity positions. A lot of it's national data. So have them tune in, and I think I'll help you. Manny Gonzalez, yesterday in Southern California, a freeze was placed on any down payment assistance programs such as Cal HFA programs due to fear from service providers. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that happens when people are nervous. So you're going to have to tough it out. They won't get the down payment assistance. You know, the city or town or county is nervous about losing their funding. That's why they did that. Those funds usually trickle down federally from HUD, sometimes from the state, and then they go to the local cities and towns to utilize that funding. Stephanie or Stephen, what is your advice for a buyer or seller caught between mortgage commitment and closing if the buyer has lost their job or been furloughed? Okay, Stephen, I don't know if you were watching my videos 2 and 3 weeks ago, but I was harping on using extensions. This is the time to use extensions. This is the time to get people to work together. Very, very important to do that. You will be shocked now that we're getting in the thick of this, how much you buyers and sellers will work together. You will still get some that are like, well, I don't care, that's what the contract said. But, you know, the one thing that I saw that impressed me in September '08 when banks, there was a website, just to tell you guys how bad it was, and just to show you how it's not like that now. There was literally a website that was tracking by the minute the banks that were going bankrupt. You could log on to the site. If anybody remembers the address, put it up. You could log on to the site. You couldn't go an hour without such and such bank in Milwaukee, such and such bank in Arkansas, such and such bank in Boston. It was unbelievable. And, you know, when that really got bad, buyers and sellers started working together. I remember buyers' mortgages falling through after their mortgage commitment and sellers saying, all right, I know it's not your fault. The damn bank went bankrupt. What do you need? 3 more weeks to get a mortgage from another mortgage company? Fine. That's the type of attitudes that realtors should be having. Let me say something else. I just remembered this. In my 10 steps to showing a home the safe way, scroll down to the bottom of that blog. I personally typed it myself. This is not a time for arguing about procuring cause. Period. End of story. If other broker owners disagree with me, great. We have a fundamental disagreement. This is a time that a buyer's agent should be able to call a listing agent and say, hey, I've got a buyer that really wants to see your listing. I can't leave my home right now for XYZ reason, but I noticed you have a showing block at Sunday, on Sunday at 10 o'clock, 10 to 12. Would you mind if I sent them over? I'll send you an email confirmation. I'll send you their names. Would that be okay? Then you call the buyer, you let them know. Then you get on the phone with the buyer 5 minutes before they get there, 5 minutes after. No listing agent should be trying to hijack that client. I have news for you listing agents. For you newer ones, if you were doing business in '08, 9, 10, 11, you know what you would have did with that call? Sure, send them over, because you were so worried about just selling your listing that you didn't argue about procuring cause. There are times, and believe me, I've been involved in it. I've been involved in lawsuits in it. I understand procuring cause. We've taken cases like that to the ethics board, but right now is not a time for it. Work together. Show your listings. Get homes sold. So I hope that helps you, Stephen. Sally, great realtor up in the North Shore. Let me see here. So Sally got an email yesterday for any of your FHA qualified buyers. She got this from a lender. Be aware the minimum FICO score shifted from 580 to 680. I have news for you, Sally. Whatever lender said that is not telling the truth. They switched that. That is their overlays. So unless FHA came out with a change, which I like to think I would know about, I would know about, in the last 2 hours since I've been on camera, that's not accurate. That's that lender adding to the overlays. Also effective today, all files must document a minimum of 1 month liquid reserves. Yeah, that's them, and that's okay. I'm not demonizing whoever said that, but you have to understand that that's them. It's not FHA. FHA did not say that, and I'll tell you something. Remember, I said this. I'm willing to bet you in the next 2 weeks, the head of HUD, or which is what's his name, the doctor, the African American guy. The guy's fantastic. He's so soft spoken. He's either going to come out, or Brian Montgomery, the head of FHA, or National Association of Realtors. They're going to come out and talk about this, because there's mortgage companies that aren't explaining it the right way. Let's see. Sean Maloney asked about the PPP application. Yes, we're working on it. I know many companies are. Sean, let's talk offline if you need help on that. I'll tell you where we're at. How about for those who were hot to buy but lost their job? What conversation do you have with them? Oh, the conversation is don't buy. I mean, that's the conversation. You don't want your buyer buying if they're unemployed, unless they can afford it without it, but they're going to have trouble getting a mortgage if they're unemployed. So the conversation is you work with that buyer and you help them get out of it. If you just tuned in now, I know we have a lot of people that just tuned in. We're going to be taking a survey of all the realtors to help us figure out how many buyers are not buying because of COVID-19, how many sellers are not selling because of it, how many are delaying, how many are permanently postponing it. So if you'd like us to send you that survey and you'd like to be a participant and be able to see the results, please comment your email below. So Danella, I hope that answers for you. Nikki Bronner had some comments. Thank you, Leslie. I'm glad you agree. It's driven by the actual lender. There's no question about that. Okay, Sally, we'll absolutely send you the survey. No worries there. We'll do that. You know it, Jerry. We were up 113% over last year in our company, and we got slowed down because of this. And as a reminder, if you're just tuning in, I normally don't talk about my own company in these, but I decided to open the doors today and to let you participate in training along with the other Lamakia agents, because this is the type of training that we do every week at our company. All right, Dave George, I have a buyer wanting to look at homes that I know are not pre-approved. Do you agree, especially now? No, I don't. That's when you say to a buyer, hey, listen, right now this is the time to look if you're a serious buyer. This is not a tire kicker time to look. Okay, the CDC, everybody's come out with guidance, our governor, and said, if you can stay home, stay home. Okay, that's not, oh, I want to go out and look at homes and I'm not pre-approved. Not a serious buyer. Tell the buyer, sorry, I'm not showing you homes until you get pre-approved. We're going to follow the guidance. So that's a very important item. Thank you, Aldo. I appreciate you clarifying for Cindy Caldwell. I recognize Cindy's name. She's been watching a long time. Cindy, I hope you're well. I appreciate you watching. All right, any other questions, guys? I've been on a while, and I don't want to unnecessarily drag this out. Oh, okay, Kevin, sorry, my friend. That's a good question. What are your thoughts on the market if this continues for 2 or 3 months? If this continues for 2 or 3 months, we are potentially looking at an 08 scenario. I'll say it. That we are. You cannot shut down an economy for 2 or 3 months, 2 or 3 more months on top of the 3 or 4 weeks we've already had. We're looking at a big problem if that happens. Will it be 08? Probably not. Would it be something like that where we will see a real decrease in prices that's noticeable, that takes more of a year to 2 to come out of? Yeah, I'm going to say it. I do. I think that's the case. So, all right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you all for participating. If you want the survey, make sure to comment with your email. We'll send you the survey. We'll get you the results by early next week, because I want to keep you all educated on what is going on out there. I will be back to you likely before next Wednesday with a short update or video of some sort. Lillian, thank you as well. Have a good one, guys. Have a great day. Appreciate you all.